The wind was still on the broken planet of Varnak. Dust floated in the air. Ruins of tall alien buildings lay in silence, twisted and burned from an ancient war. Deep below the surface, a large machine made a quiet sound. It had slept for thousands of years. Until now, a group of alien scientists from the Galactic Council stood in a cold underground chamber. They wore heavy suits and spoke in low voices. One of them touched a glowing panel. A blue light blinked. A low growl filled the room. The walls shook. Something old was waking up. The leader, a thin creature with 6 eyes named Saren, smiled. "It's working," he said. "The weapon is alive again." They had found it buried deep in the soil of Varnak, a lost weapon from the First Galactic War. Records called it Project Leviathan, a creature built to destroy entire armies. It did not feel pain. It did not know fear. It only followed one command: annihilate everything in its path. The beast opened its eyes. They glowed like fire. Chains held its massive arms and legs. Its body was covered in thick metal plates. Spikes ran along its back. It looked more like a nightmare than a machine. One of the scientists stepped forward to run a scan. He didn't get the chance. In one fast movement, the beast snapped its chains and crushed the scientist beneath its hand. The others screamed and ran, but the chamber door slammed shut. The beast stood tall, almost 10 meters high, and roared. It had been made for war, and now it was free again. Within minutes, the beast tore through the underground base. Fire and smoke filled the air. Escape ships tried to launch, but the beast smashed them before they could fly. No one survived. Only a signal escaped, a silent warning sent out into the galaxy. The Galactic Council received the signal hours later. The room was filled with fear. Leaders from 10 different species argued loudly. "Why was the project reactivated?" one shouted. "Who gave the order?" another demanded. Saren was dead. No one claimed responsibility. But the signal also showed something worse. The beast was moving. It had stolen a ship. No one knew how. But it had set a course toward the outer worlds, toward Earth. The room went quiet when the word Earth appeared on the screen. For years, the Council had watched humans with silent fear. Humans were strange, dangerous, unpredictable. No one could understand how they survived so many wars. No one knew how they always won. One council member spoke. "Do they know?" "They will," said another. "The beast is heading straight for them." On Earth, in a quiet military base, alarms began to ring. A strange object had entered the system, moving fast. Too large to be a ship, but too small to be a fleet. A meeting was called in an underground command center. Men and women in uniform studied the data. "It's alive," one of them said. "It's not just a ship, it's a weapon." General Rhodes stared at the screen. He was calm. His hands were behind his back. He had seen war. He had seen monsters. But this was different. "We need someone to make contact," Rhodes said, "before it reaches a city." The room fell silent. "There's only one person I trust for this," he said. "Get Mason." Mason sat alone in a training room punching a steel target. He didn't speak much. He didn't smile. His eyes were cold. He had fought in places that didn't exist on maps. He had been sent where others failed, and he always came back. A soldier ran up and gave him the orders. Mason didn't ask questions, he just nodded. "You'll be dropped outside the city." "Limits," the officer said. "No backup, no weapons." Mason looked at him. "Don't need any." He walked to the ship, wearing only a simple black suit and carrying a small case. Other soldiers watched him pass. No one said a word. As the ship flew him toward the landing site, Mason stared out the window. Flames lit the night sky far ahead. The beast had already landed. Trees burned, roads cracked, the earth itself shook. And in the center of the chaos stood the monster, taller than buildings, stronger than tanks. Mason stepped out of the ship and walked into the smoke. The beast turned to look at him, and Mason didn't flinch. Most planets screamed when they saw the beast. Earth didn't say a word. The Galactic Council waited for a response from humanity. They had sent a clear warning. A deadly war beast was on its way. It would land within a day. Their message was simple: evacuate your cities or face extinction. But Earth gave no reply. Council chambers grew tense. Alien leaders whispered among themselves. Why don't they answer? One asked. Are they already running? Another said. But the live feeds from Earth showed something different. No panic, no evacuations, no ships fleeing into the stars. Instead, humans went on with their lives. Markets stayed open, children played in parks, military bases were calm. They think it's a joke, one council member hissed. They don't understand what's coming. But one human did. Mason stood at the edge of the destroyed forest, staring at the smoke in the distance. The ship that dropped him off was already gone. Behind him, nothing but silent hills. In front of him, a battlefield waiting to happen. His black suit blended into the night. No heavy armor, no large weapons, just the case in his hand. He walked forward, each step calm and slow. His face showed no fear. Far ahead, the beast moved through trees like they were paper. Every stomp made the ground shake. Fires burned behind. Broken machines and melted tanks littered the dirt. It had already destroyed 2 scout teams sent by Earth's defense force. No survivors. The beast paused. It had spotted Mason. It was confused. This creature, this human, wasn't running. Mason walked closer. The beast took a step forward, then roared. The sound ripped through the trees. Animals fled. Dust flew into the sky. Still, Mason walked, calm as ever. The beast spoke. Its voice was deep and strange, like grinding metal. You are not fleeing. Why? Mason stopped a few meters away and opened the small case. Inside was an old photo of a ruined city from Earth's first alien war, and next to it, a metal tag with the name Let Mason, Earth Division 7. The rest of the case held only one thing, a small, round device glowing with soft blue light. Mason looked up at the beast. Because we've seen worse. The beast stepped forward. It raised one massive arm, ready to crush him. Mason didn't move. The device in his hand clicked. Suddenly, a wave of energy flowed around him. The beast's sensors flickered. Its vision blurred. It stepped back, confused again. Mason's body glowed slightly, then settled. What is that? The beast growled. Mason didn't answer. He just took another step forward. The beast swung its arm. A shockwave tore through the ground. But it missed. Mason had moved. Not fast, just right. Calm. Controlled. He ducked under the strike and tapped the beast's arm with the device. A burst of sparks. A short system glitch. The beast roared in pain. Not much, just a spark. But pain. Real pain. You hurt me, the beast said, surprised. How? Mason looked up. We studied the old wars. We learned. We waited. The beast backed away for the first time. Its systems were checking damage. This human wasn't like the others. He wasn't trying to win. He was trying to understand, and that scared the beast. In the council chamber, panic grew. What is happening? Shouted one leader. Why hasn't the human died? Live feed drones showed something shocking. The beast, the one built to destroy. Armies was not advancing. It was standing still, watching a human. What is he doing to it? No one had answers. On the battlefield, Mason sat down on a broken tree. He wasn't in a rush. He watched the beast with quiet eyes. The beast tilted its head. Why do you not fear me? Mason's voice was calm. Because you're just a weapon, and I've seen worse weapons break. The beast's eyes glowed. Something inside its old code flickered. A memory, buried deep. It had been built to kill humans, and yet this one, small, alone, quiet, wasn't afraid. For the first time since it woke, the beast hesitated, and Mason smiled. Just a little. Because hesitation meant it was starting to think, and once a weapon starts to think, it can be turned. The beast stood still. Its massive body, built for war, made no move. It stared down at Mason, the human who sat calmly on a broken tree stump like he was enjoying the evening. It didn't make sense. No soldier had ever done this. No general. No champion. They ran, screamed, or died. But this man didn't even blink. He acted like he had time, like he was in control. Inside the beast, systems scanned Mason again. His body temperature, steady. Heart rate, normal. Weapon count, 0. Threat level, unclear. It tried to guess Mason's next move, but the human didn't move at all. "You are not attacking," the beast said. "And neither are you," Mason replied. The beast tilted its head, the metal joints groaning. "You are one man. I am death." Mason looked up. "Maybe, but I'm not here to fight you." Silence fell between them. Even the fires in the trees had started to fade, the wind pushing smoke into the sky. In space, the Council ships watched from orbit. The beast's tracking signal was still active. Council commanders stared at the data, confused. "It's not killing him," one officer whispered. "It should have crushed him by now." "Why is it waiting?" No one had answers. Except maybe the humans, and they weren't saying anything. Back on Earth, General Rhodes stood in the command room. He watched the satellite feed, arms crossed. Officers around him gave reports, but he ignored most of them. His focus was on Mason. "He's slowing it down," Rhodes said quietly. "Slowing it down, sir?" one young soldier asked. Rhodes nodded. "That thing doesn't talk. It doesn't ask questions. Not unless it's unsure." The room went silent. Everyone knew what that meant. Mason was doing something none of them thought possible. He was making the monster think. Down on the ground, Mason finally stood. He stretched his arms as if he was just waking up from a nap. The beast watched. "Why were you created?" Mason asked. The beast's eyes flashed. Old code moved inside its mind. Locked memories. Long ago, deep in the First War, it had been built by a forgotten race. They made it to win, to destroy. But they died before the war ended. The beast didn't. Remember their faces. Only the command they left behind. Annihilate. "That's it?" Mason asked. "No reason? No goal? Just destroy?" The beast didn't answer. Its systems flickered again. "Sounds like you don't even know who you are," Mason said. A loud sound echoed from behind. Earth's backup forces had arrived. Tanks, jets, drones, all ready to fire. They surrounded the area but held their positions. General Rhodes had ordered them to wait. Inside the beast, warning alarms lit up. Enemy presence, 150 plus. Threat level, high protocol. Engage and eliminate. Its arms twitched. Weapons activated. Cannons moved out from its back. The sky turned red from targeting lasers, but Mason raised one hand. "Don't," he said softly. The beast looked at him. "These people, they're scared." "But I'm not," Mason continued. "Because I know you can stop this." The beast's eyes flickered again. Conflict. Confusion. For the first time, the command in its mind felt wrong. "I was not made to stop," it growled. "No," Mason said. "But maybe you weren't made to think either, and yet, here you are." The beast turned. The army waited, weapons locked. Mason stood between them and the monster. One human, no armor, no shield, no fear. And then, without a sound, the beast powered down its weapons. Its body relaxed. The red lights faded. The ground stopped shaking. Behind. "Mason?" The soldier stared in disbelief. It had listened. The Galactic Council's command room exploded in chaos. "It disobeyed!" One alien shouted, "It broke protocol!" Another screamed, "That's impossible! That thing doesn't think, it only follows!" But it had stopped. On its own. For a human. General Rhodes allowed himself a small smile. Mason walked up to the beast. He placed a hand on its metal leg. "You're not a weapon anymore," he said. "Not unless you choose to be." The beast said nothing, but for the first time since it woke, it didn't feel alone, and in the darkness of its mind, something new was growing. Not code, not orders, something else. Choice. The forest was silent. Mason stood beside the beast, his hand still resting against its metal surface. Behind him, Earth soldiers held their fire. The sky was filled with drones, their cameras focused, broadcasting this moment across the planet. The beast, once known across galaxies as a destroyer, now stood still. Not defeated, just different. It didn't understand what it felt. There was no word in its programming for this. Was it doubt? Curiosity? Fear? "Why are they not attacking?" the beast asked, its voice low. Mason looked behind him. "Because they're waiting. For me. For you. They are afraid." "Yes," Mason said. "They should be. You've killed entire armies, burned cities, left only smoke and bones." The beast turned its head. "And yet you are not afraid." Mason smiled just a little. "Because fear doesn't stop you, understanding might." The beast processed that, slowly, carefully. Its systems tried to make sense of the human's words. No data matched. No enemy had ever spoken to it like this. Mason stepped back. He reached into his case again, pulling out a small sphere. A recording. He pressed it. A voice played. A woman. Calm. Brave. "Division 7, this is Captain Elena Ward. If you're hearing this, we lost. The beast got through our line. But don't run. Don't scream. Don't kneel. Stand. Look it in the eye. If you must fall, fall on your feet." The voice ended. The beast froze. That voice. It remembered that voice. Elena Ward, the last commander, who had faced it during the First Earth War. She had been brave. It had killed her. But something about her had stayed. "She didn't run," the beast said quietly. "No," Mason nodded. "She faced you, and you never forgot her, did you?" The beast didn't answer. Its systems were no longer running just battle code. Memories were rising, unwanted, unplanned. It saw her eyes again, not afraid, just steady, like Mason's, like many humans before. "You're not just metal," Mason said. "Not anymore. You've seen too much, felt too much. That's why you're hesitating." The beast looked toward the distant horizon. Somewhere out, there, more weapons like it still slept. On council worlds, on hidden moons, machines built to burn and break. It had always believed it was like them. "But now, am I broken?" it asked. "No," Mason said. "You're waking up." Suddenly, a signal hit the sky. A sharp red burst from above, an override. The council had seen enough. Inside the beast's head, alarms screamed. "Emergency code. Reactivate combat mode. Override command received. Kill the humanists." Limbs locked. Its eyes turned red again. Weapon systems rebooted. The choice was being taken away. Mason saw it happen. The way its body twitched. The way its stance shifted. He stepped back. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. The beast turned to him. "I don't want to hurt you." "I know." Mason opened the last part of his case. Inside was a small black switch, Earth's last option, a pulse bomb that could shut down everything within a 2-mile range, including him. "I hoped I wouldn't have to use this," he said. The beast stepped forward. Its hand lifted, fingers shaking, its voice cracked. "Don't!" Mason stared at it. "Then fight it." Don't let them control you. The red in its eyes burned brighter. Systems screamed, "Kill, kill, kill," and then the beast roared, but not at Mason. It turned, aiming its arm at the sky, and fired a blast upward, straight into the signal source. A drone hidden among the stars, sending override commands. The drone exploded. The signal died. The red in its eyes faded. It fell to one knee, breathing hard. Mason stared, stunned. "You resisted it." The beast nodded slowly. "I chose." Far above, the council went silent. Earth's command room erupted in cheers. The weapon had broken its leash. And now, no one knew what would happen next. But one thing was certain. The beast was no longer theirs. It wasn't a weapon. It was something else, something human. The ground was still smoking from the blast. The beast knelt on one knee, steam rising from its armor. Its body shook, not from damage, but from something deeper. For the first time in its existence, it had made a choice. It had said no. Mason stood nearby, his finger still hovering above the kill switch. He slowly pulled it back into his case. The moment had passed. The soldiers behind him began to move, unsure if they should still treat the beast as a threat. Tanks turned. Drones hovered. Snipers watched from trees, but none fired. Everyone was waiting and watching. The beast looked up at Mason. "What happens now?" Mason didn't answer right away. He looked around. The forest was scorched, the land torn from the battle. But this place was more than just ash and dust now. It was history. "You've broken their control," Mason said. "That means they'll send more." The beast stood up. Its full height blocked the light. "Let them come." Far above Earth, council ships received reports of the override failure. Inside their cold metal walls, the council leaders met in silence. "This is impossible," hissed one of the alien commanders. "He rejected direct commands," said another. "It's corrupted." "No," a voice said from the shadows. "It's infected with humanity." The council voted quickly. Send the others. On a hidden moon across the galaxy, heavy vault doors opened. More beasts, more machines, each one built for one purpose, annihilation. Their red eyes lit up one by one. Back on Earth, General Rhodes paced across the war room floor. "If one broke free," he said, "the others won't take chances. They'll come fast, hard, and in numbers." "How many do you think?" a soldier asked. Rhodes didn't answer. He just looked at the screen showing Mason and the beast standing side by side. "We need more time," he finally said. Time to prepare. Time for him to teach it what it means to be more than a weapon. Out in the open field, Mason sat on a flat rock. The beast sat too, not standing like a statue, but resting like a tired soldier. "You feel it, don't you?" Mason asked. The beast nodded. "I feel guilt. For what you did." "Yes. And for what I might still do." Mason looked up at the sky. "They're coming. You can sense them, can't you?" The beast didn't answer with words. It raised one arm and pointed toward the sky. There. Mason followed its finger. Shimmer in the clouds. Then light. Then something bigger. A ship, burning through the atmosphere. The first of the others had arrived. Within seconds, the earth rumbled again. The new beast hit the ground like a meteor. It stood tall, twice the size of the first. Its armor glowed. Its red eyes burned with one goal: eliminate the traitor. The first beast stepped forward. "It's one of us." Mason stood, grabbing a device from his bag. "Then talk to it. It won't listen. Then show it what you've learned." The second beast didn't wait. It charged. The trees exploded around it. The earth cracked. This was not a negotiation. This was war. The first beast ran to meet it, their clash shaking the ground. Mason was thrown back from the shockwave. Trees split apart. Metal smashed against metal. But something was different. The first beast wasn't fighting to kill. It was fighting to protect. It blocked attacks. Redirected blows, tried to speak. "You don't have to do this," it shouted. But the second beast didn't stop. Its programming was still locked. No choices, no thoughts, just orders. As the two titans fought, humans around the battlefield watched from hidden bunkers and command centers. "They're not the same," one soldier whispered. "No," Rhodes said. "One is a machine. The other is becoming something else." The battle ended with a crash that shook the entire valley. The first beast stood over the second, arm raised to strike, but it didn't. It lowered its hand. "I won't kill you," it said. "I won't be what they made me to be." The second beast's eyes flickered, not red now, but confused, for just a second. Mason walked forward, limping. "Did you see that?" he said. It hesitated. The first beast nodded. "It begins with one choice, and in the stars above, more were coming. The skies above Earth darkened, not from clouds, but from shadows, ships, dozens of them. Council warships blocked out the sun, and from them the real danger dropped. An army of beasts, hundreds, each one like the first, some even larger, more armored, more advanced. No feelings, no hesitation, just death. General Rhodes stood in Earth's command bunker, staring at the incoming data. "This is it," he said. "They've sent them all." No one in the room spoke. The battle had begun, but Earth only had one of them on their side. One who had changed, one who had a name now. They didn't call him a beast anymore. They called him Valor. Out in the forest, Valor stood next to Mason, looking up at the sky. The second beast, the one he had spared, now stood behind them. Its red eyes had dimmed. It hadn't spoken since the battle, but it hadn't attacked again either. Valor turned to it. "You can feel it now, can't you? That something isn't right." The second beast didn't answer, but it stayed, and that was enough. The sky tore open as the first wave of enemy machines dropped like missiles. They hit the ground hard, forming lines, forming ranks, silent, perfect, ready to destroy everything. Valor stepped forward, alone. Mason grabbed his arm. "You can't face them by yourself." "I have to try," Valor said. Mason looked at the second beast. "Then take him. He owes you that much." The second beast looked at Valor, then stepped beside him. "Two against hundreds," Mason whispered into his comms. "Tell Earth Command to hold fire. Let this play out." General Rhodes shook his head. "That's suicide." "No," Mason replied. "It's hope." The enemy beasts charged. The ground shook. The sound was like thunder, metal feet pounding the earth faster and faster. Valor didn't run. He walked forward, slowly. Then he stopped. He lifted both arms, palms open. "I am not your enemy," he shouted. His voice echoed. "I was like you. I was used, but I changed. You can too." The charging army didn't slow, not even a little. The second beast beside Valor shifted its stance. Its weapons opened. "They won't listen. Then I'll make them." At the last second, Valor jumped into the air and smashed down into the front line, sending shockwaves in all directions. Metal flew. The front row of attackers collapsed. He didn't kill. He only disabled. Blocked, trapped, disarmed. But the enemy didn't stop. More came. The second beast joined in, fighting beside Valor, not killing, but defending. Together, they moved like shadows. Earth watched in silence. Human soldiers, who once feared the beast, now cheered for him. Valor fought without rage, without hate, but with purpose, with control. He grabbed one enemy beast by the shoulders and shouted into its face, "You don't have to be their weapon." For a split second, the beast hesitated. Then it powered down, fell still. Others saw it. Another beast stopped, and then another. Valor was making them think. He was breaking the council's grip. Mason watched, breathless. He's turning them. Rhodes looked at the screen, stunned. How? Mason smiled faintly. Because machines remember fear, but they also remember mercy. The council, watching from their distant fortress, panicked. They're breaking. Formation! Override! Override now! But the signal was weak. Valor had destroyed the first relay, and Earth had jammed the rest. One by one, more beasts stopped fighting. Their weapons powered down, their movements slowed. They were choosing, just like Valor had, but not all. Some still attacked, still loyal, still deadly. One of them, huge, double-bladed, eyes glowing hot, charged at Mason from the side. Too fast, too close. Valor saw it. He moved, faster than anyone thought possible. He threw himself in front of Mason, took the hit, slammed backward. Metal tore. Sparks flew. He hit the ground hard. Mason screamed, running to him. Valor's body sparked. Damaged. Deeply. You saved me, Mason whispered. Valor's voice was weak. That's what humans do, isn't it? Mason laughed through tears. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Above them, the remaining beasts stood still, watching, waiting. The battlefield was quiet, not from death, but from change, and far above. The council realized it. Their army wasn't just losing, it was awakening. Valor lay still. Sparks jumped from his broken armor. One of his arms didn't move. A deep crack split across his chest, right where the council's last loyal beast had hit him. Mason knelt beside him. Stay with me, he whispered. I'm still here, Valor said. His voice was soft now, fading. Around them, the battlefield was quiet. The enemy beasts, the machines built to destroy planets, stood frozen, watching. Some looked down at their own hands. Others looked at each other, and one by one, they shut down their weapons. They had seen what Valor did. He saved a human. He protected the weak. He fought without hate. Now they were thinking for the first time. Back on the Council's homeworld, chaos exploded. They've stopped responding. They're not listening. They're becoming like him. The Council's faces twisted with rage. We warned them this could happen, one of the older commanders growled. That human contact would corrupt them. It's not corruption, another whispered. It's choice. The Council voted again. But this time, it wasn't just war. It was extermination. Send the failsafe. In deep space, a massive ship began to move. It was bigger than anything the galaxy had seen. Not a warship. Not a fleet. A planet killer. Its purpose was simple. If the machines ever broke free, destroy everything, including Earth. Back on the ground, Mason looked at the sky. A single red dot had appeared in orbit. What is that? He asked. Valor tried to sit up, sparks shooting from his side. It's the end, for all of us. The other awakened beasts turned toward the sky. Their sensors saw what humans couldn't. The scale, the firepower, the death coming. The second beast, who had once fought Valor, stepped forward. We were made to destroy, but now, maybe we can protect. Mason stood. Then let's do it together. General Rhodes, listening from Earth's command center, heard everything. Get me orbital codes. Aim all satellites at that ship. Technicians scrambled. Lights flashed. Sir, one of them said, we don't have enough firepower to stop it. Rhodes looked at the screen, at Valor, broken, but rising again. Then we stall it, long enough for them to stop it. Above Earth, the massive death ship charged its main weapon. Lights lit up along its surface. Energy built like a second sun. The awakened beasts, now standing side by side, turned toward the stars and launched. Like comets, they flew, hundreds of them, for the first time, fighting not for the Council, but for Earth. They reached the death ship, just as it finished charging, and they attacked. Explosions lit the darkness of space. Limbs were torn, hulls cracked. Fire spread. The beasts tore into the war machine with everything they had. They weren't weapons anymore. They were soldiers. They were brothers, and valor, though damaged, followed. He reached the core, planted a device Mason had given him. It wasn't a bomb. It was something more powerful, a signal, a message. He broadcast one word across the entire ship: choose. And inside the death ship, something happened. The code changed. The ship hesitated, then stopped. The weapon powered down. The red light faded, and deep in space, the Council's greatest weapon died without firing. Back on Earth, humans cheered. In the command center, Rhodes finally smiled. They did it. Mason looked up at the sky, tears in his eyes. Valor's voice came through one last time. We were built to destroy armies, but you showed us how to save worlds. His signal faded, but the machines that returned, those who survived, carried his name. Valor was not just a weapon anymore. He was a legend, and in the years that followed, every species across the galaxy remembered the day Earth was supposed to fall, but didn't, because a human didn't flinch, and a monster chose to change.